Hi, Virgo. This is your astrology reading for the month of December 2019. Now, I don't know. When I said 19, then I'm hearing teeth. And I have no idea what that's about, but because I wanted to say 19th, teeth is what was coming out, and I really have no idea. But for somebody, apparently that's important. Anyway, what Spirit is telling me outside of that is you are overcoming some bad habits of your mental thinking this month. Some poor self-talk and self-judgment. You're coming into learning higher education, transformational healing that takes place with that. But they're also saying something is going on with your humanitarian interests, your self-realization, and your responsibilities to that or to yourself. Give me just 1 second. I have to look something up in my notes here to myself. I want to make sure I'm right. Some of this is also overcoming some sacral chakra energies, some frustration, some anger, some sexual energy. This could be, and how you communicate it to yourself is what they're saying. This could be how you feel about yourself, sacral chakra. I call her the sacral chakra often, the belly dancer, but I also call it Mars energy. This is self-talk, self-belief. This could actually be sexual frustration for some, but I feel like I'm picking up more of coming into liberating self by self-realization, self-confidence. I call it the inner belly dancer because, let's face it, the inner belly dancer does not have to be the most beautiful thing, whether it's a woman or man in the world. It may not be the most skinniest and healthy looking. It may be a chubby person. It may be an anorexic person. That's not what I'm trying to get at. What I'm getting at is the inner belly dancer is confident within itself. It's confident. It feels good and secure within itself. And when you feel that inner sexuality, that inner goodness, then that brings your solar plexus into a new level of strength, into I am magic. And this is asking you to come into that energy by getting rid of some of those lower unconscious vibrational frequencies that you've talked yourself into believing, of judgment of self, and overcoming some of your own grief, sorrow, shame, and blame that's made you feel that way, is what I'm being told. Coming into a new level of believing in self brings you to a new level of reincarnating real self. And then how you choose to judge yourself, how you communicate that judgment to yourself, because it's come into a more stronger, illuminated feel. And when I say illuminated, that means the oneness. That means coming into your confidence, your security, your chakras being more in line, healthy with yourself. This is all between heart and head, and illuminating the balance. But it's completely up to you, they say, to will it to be so. And for some of you, it has to do with the people that you are surrounded by that keep you from feeling that way. And if they're making you feel belittled or small, then they're not people that you should have in your life anyway. But yeah, this is strengthening the sacral chakra and the solar plexus this month, or healing it or unblocking energies within it, is what I'm really getting for the most part. making that unconscious become conscious and then bringing healing to it. Okay. Now, as I get into astrology, I want to back up for a minute. I like to remind everybody at the end of November what was going on. So as we come into December, you have a better idea. At the end of November, you had on the 25th, Venus entered Capricorn. Capricorn is loaded, okay? For everybody, it's right now, we got to look at the houses for Capricorn and for Sagittarius, because the sun is in Sagittarius up until the 21st when it moves into Capricorn. And the communication that is going on between these two houses have everything to do with what we're really feeling at this time and what we choose to will to bring forward, as Spirit just corrected me on, and karmic lessons that you are learning prior to willing to move it forward, because that's where the abundance and the manifestation is coming in. Now, you had Venus move into Capricorn on the 25th. You have the new moon that took place in November on the 26th in Sagittarius, but coming from a void, of course, of Scorpio, meaning death and rebirth, an end of an era, beginning of a new one. And then you have Neptune, which went direct on the 27th. But Neptune is going to be pretty much still and at its weakest point until about January. I think January 12th-ish. So it's kind of just very much sitting still and in the void itself. Now, as we come into December, on the 2nd of December, Jupiter moves into Capricorn as well. You are going to have Pluto, Saturn, Venus, Ceres, and Jupiter all in Capricorn, giving this energy major strength. You have on the 9th, Mercury moves into Sagittarius. The sun is here, and so is Mercury, and so is Pallas. When we get there, we'll take a look at stuff. You have the full moon that is taking place on the 12th, but I am being told Gemini and Taurus energy is coming in with this full moon. On the 20th, Venus moves out of Cap. She moves into Aquarius. On the 21st, the sun moves into Capricorn. The new moon and the solar eclipse is taking place on the 26th in Capricorn. Remember, Capricorn has also the south node in it, and Cancer has the north node in it. And these two are going to be in opposition, that full moon and that new moon and solar eclipse. It will come full circle to where the moon is now with it and bringing definitely a major illumination in. Then you have Mercury, which will be coming in after everything's all done into Capricorn on the 28th. So let's take a look at what's going on. Because for you, Sagittarius is your 4th and 5th house. Sagittarius is your 4th house, but Capricorn is your 5th house. So everything about this right now is coming into inner emotional security. Inner emotional security and creative expression. And within that inner emotional security, you have to get there by allowing yourself to experience that creative expression. But we'll start with the 4th house, plain and simple. The 4th house has Pallas in it, strategically thinking its way through how you communicate and illuminate yourself in your inner emotional security. But the inner emotional security is the home. So you find that inner emotional security and safety at home. And if you don't, why don't you? Is the question here. But the home also speaks to us of that inner child and how that inner child was raised, its upbringing. And did it have inner emotional security within that upbringing? But more importantly, the home is right here. It's where the soul resides, and you can't lose it. You can't lose it. You can misplace some of its strength, some of its power, because you didn't understand, you didn't believe in it. But that just means it's time to go back and claim it and take it back. It's yours. Okay? So your inner emotional security comes down to getting right with your roots. Getting right with who the child was, how it was raised, and how come it's the way it is now. what that does to your inner emotional security, what that does to your safety of your home, and if corrections need to be made. Was it properly nourished? Or was things neglected? And acknowledging this and getting right with the true self, the roots of the soul inside, more than just the home. This is how you create inner emotional security, by finding how to reincarnate a new, healthier inner emotional security. But in order for you to do that, Capricorn is definitely throwing energy at that, because you are communicating this to yourself and you're illuminating to yourself where you are comfortable with this inner emotional security and where you're not. And Palace is here helping you strategically think your way into creating it. But more importantly, in that fifth house is your self-expression. It is your creative expression. It is your pursuit of pleasure, but it's also your inner child. Your inner child is how you get balanced. It allows you to play. It allows you to still find fun. It allows you to enjoy enjoyment. And are you giving that inner child that flirtatious, fun energy? This is where your personal interests come in. This is where creative expression turns into your hobbies, turns into your talents, turns into, dating, trivia, dancing, play, music, anything that tweaks your interests and makes you enjoy life. Are you taking time for it? Because Saturn being here is saying you need to set rules, walls, and boundaries so that you are capable of getting that enjoying time. You are capable of having that romance. You are capable of your personal interests. You are capable of getting right with your hobbies and your enjoyment in your inner child. But Pluto is saying that there's something here that's been kind of off, that hasn't been supporting it, hasn't been exactly healthy. And it's time to let that go, because it's time for a rebirthing in that energy. And Venus is going to be bringing sensitivity to where you're not able to get it. Ceres is bringing in, she's going to tell you about where you are able to get it and why you're able to get it. And those people that help illuminate why you're able to get it, as well as those people that are keeping you from getting it. And this is because you've chose to allow them to. And it's because you haven't set the proper rules, walls, and boundaries up, saying, no, this is my me time and I need that. And this is how I'm going to express myself and find my true self, which creates my inner emotional security, which creates my true self-awareness and my self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. And you don't get to take that from me. This is what you're coming into learning, because Venus is going to illuminate the people that help and the people that hurt, and where it's keeping you from getting there. Ceres is bringing in, again, those people that have nurtured you and those people that are neglecting you in this area. But Ceres is also karma and the threefold theory. So she's got a little bit of a twist to her. Jupiter is bringing in the abundance of where you are getting in and where you aren't getting in, and again, why? And the manifestation that comes from acknowledging what you need in order to create that. Bringing you back to that inner emotional security, getting right with your true self, helping you to liberate yourself in self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem, and being very much aware of exactly where that's taking you. Now, your very first house has nothing here other than Regulus. Regulus is moved in, and that's the heart of the lion, asking you to get right with the compassion you have for yourself, your self-awareness, your physical body, your appearance, your view of life, your identification, and how to illuminate that. In your second house, you have Libra. This is where you may come into the problem. Libra often wants to create harmony and balance so badly that it will create harmony and balance for everybody but itself. It will sit back and make the whole rest of the world happy, but it doesn't put itself on the same pedestal. And this is asking you to stop that bullshit. This is asking you that in order for you to truly respect yourself and have reverence within yourself, this is a time to persevere in self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem, and pull yourself up to that same pedestal you put everybody else on when you create harmony and balance, so that you can bring self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, liberating energy to you by having compassion and love for self. Now, as you come into the third house, this is Scorpio. This is communication. Now, all that energy last month took place in Scorpio, which means you're learning a new delivery system of communication, a new proper way of communicating. What didn't work and what now will is a new way of birthing it. Remember, Mercury also just moved into Sagittarius, which I always see as the higher self. So that even though it's in Sagittarius, but your third house is Scorpio, it's helping to illuminate the death that needs to happen of old ways, old views, old images of how you communicate and what you communicate, and how you now need to start seeing that communication and what you need to communicate, so that you are getting back to that confidence, back to that inner emotional security, your creativity, your enjoyment, your self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And for some reason, Spirit is saying this for somebody or somebody out there, this is something major you need to have a conversation with a neighbor or with a sibling. Because in some areas, in order for you to make a situation better, it's definitely a conversation that needs to take place with a sibling or a neighbor in general, and understand the communication can make or break it. Now, we already discussed the 4th and 5th house, so I'm going to jump right on over to the 6th house. The 6th house is your every daily tasks, your routines. There isn't anything going on here. This is Aquarius. This is the water bearer. This is where the humanitarian personality comes in. But at the same time, Aquarius is kind of really bad about being a great humanitarian for everybody else, but kind of forgets to put himself in the same list. Again, like Libra. This is asking you, again, in your daily task, your everyday daily task, your routines, your health, your diet, your hygiene, your physical appearance, your physical ability, your physical body. This could be working out. This could be your health care. This could be, anything that's a healthy routine for you, or health care routine that deals with your health. Don't forget, your daily working environment is part of those daily routines, and the people, places, and things in that daily working environment and daily routines are energies that you consume. You have Venus moving in here on the 20th, right before that solar eclipse. This is going to be pointing out to you, Venus will, but only from the 20th to the 26th, before that solar eclipse, where these routines and these people, places, and things of energy that you consume are healthy or unhealthy. Because you don't have anything there supporting it prior to that. But for those 6 days when Venus moves in, she's going to tell you what is nurturing you, what makes you feel all good and confident within these routines, and why. And then she's also going to be telling you what these people, places, and things of these energies that you consume in these daily routines are harming you, and why they are harming you. And pay very close attention from that 20th to the 26th, because those are cues from Venus telling you how to create either the conversation or how to change those routines altogether. Now, on your 7th house, this is Pisces. This is where things could get a little tricky for you, because Pisces tends to want to believe that everybody is a little bit better than maybe they are, okay? So you have a hopeful, wishful idea in a relationship zone. In the relationship zone, the people are already going to be better than they often are. Neptune is still. He just went direct, sitting on top of Lilith. This is where fantasy smacks you in the face with harsh reality. This is also where illusion and delusion gets distorted. Neptune is also Pisces. Your healing waters, and they're calm, they're still. But if you look closely at them, you can see past the calmness and into where the storms really are. This is saying in your relationship zone, whether they are friends, foes, whether they are lovers, family, children, working environment, anything you care about, you have a relationship with. This is saying at this time, this could be very tricky for you. You could get the idea that it's one thing and very much find out that it's something different. Focus on the void. Focus past what's right in front of your face and see into the truth. Because like I said, you have the solar eclipse coming up asking you directly. And your emotional creativity. Are you having time for your creativity? Are you making time for relationships and people that aren't making time for you? Do they support your enjoyment? Do they support what you really want to create and be and that personal expression? Or are you just have your head up their ass? I'm sorry, that's the way I see it. It's one of the two. And then it's also coming down to your 11th house. This is if these people on the full moon, if these people in these relationships that you have, whether they're spouses, friends, family, working environment, just friends, if these people, these groups, these communities that you are part of are not supporting your hopes, your dreams, your ambitions, your creative expression, then they are the wrong fucking people. Okay, it's that simple. They should be supporting you. And this is asking you, are you really paying attention to the people you're bringing in these relationships? Because Neptune's still. And she's asking you, Lilith is right next to Neptune, asking you, are you using that soul fire that you were given? It's a gift. The soul fire is a gift that was given to you. And it only is supposed to burn for you. So are you burning for you? And what your desires are and what you want in an honest, balanced way without going fully into ego, narcissistic ways. But are you burning for you? Or are you putting yourself on the back burner and you're burning for them and what their dreams are, their goals are? This is the question. Are you equally burning together? Because if you're not, they're the wrong relationships. They're not supporting you. In fact, they're not nurturing you at all. As you come into the 8th house, Spirit says there should be regeneration going on here. It should be regenerating and strengthening for the people who are meant to be in your life. So you have Chiron here. This is Aries energy. This is a brand new place for brand new beginnings. Chiron is the wounded healer, but at the other end of Chiron is Medusa, which is Eris, trouble, toil, and strife. So are you holding on to these relationships in trouble, toil, and strife? And injustice? Are you sinking your teeth into the wrong parts of the relationship? Because the relationship's rules are all about joint finances, joint resources, joint efforts. Anything that is joint, that you share custody and responsibility of. Are they fair and are they balanced? Are they just? Are these relationships allowing your soul fire to burn, but equally theirs? Are you equally sharing, giving, and taking? Or is one giving and one taking? This is what you're looking at, because what Spirit is saying is pay attention to where it's regenerating in healthy ways versus where it's regenerating in unhealthy ways. Because this is a place where you break the cycle. And are you breaking the right cycle or continuing a cycle according to the way it's regenerating? That's their key to you to pay attention to. And I would say pay attention to it right up until the 26th when that solar eclipse happens, because it will definitely show it to you by then. Now, that 9th house for you happens to be Taurus. This is your higher self. This is your philosophy, your religion, your law, your learning, your higher education. This is where you're kind of learning how to step into your independence, your individuality, your uniqueness, your freedom, being able to invent yourself in your own ethics, morals, spiritual urges, spiritual truths, and not have to worry about what other people's opinions are, because you're able to be confident to believe in yourself and see where that psychically takes you, spiritually, soulfully takes you, and trust your intuition and trust your gut. At this time, by independently finding that soul fire, your higher self, to trust in it, and where this is bringing you independence and freedom and self-worth and self-value and self-esteem, by really sticking to your guns and your ethics, your morals, your spiritual urges, your spiritual truths, your higher soulfulness. Your 10th house, there's nothing here. This is your honor and your reputation, your prestige, your financial success, your social foundation, the community, and its responsibilities. There's nothing strengthening or going for or against you. But in your 11th house, this is where the new moon takes place. Like I said, not new moon, this is where the full moon takes place. This is the community again, those larger groups, your friends, your memberships, and Cancer energy. Cancer with the North Node is all about, are you finding nurturing qualities in these groups, in these friends, in these memberships that you are part of? Do they nurture you? Are they helping you to come into your creative expression like so? Are they helping you to believe in your creative expression and helping you to bring it out of you and believe that you have confidence about it? Because if they're not, they're the wrong people. The North Node here is telling you what you need to learn and have the right people in places to help you achieve your goals and your dreams. But if you have the wrong people, they're belittling you, making you feel less valued, then they're not the right people, and they're never going to be there to support your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, and help you come into your true self-realization or your humanitarian interests and believe in it with confidence. You're going to be noticing that around the full moon, asking you to trust in your true self. But if you have not made it through because you still have self-deception, as Spirit puts it, you'll be illuminated by it by that new moon and solar eclipse on the 26th. Now, your 12th house is Leo. You don't have anything going on here other than understand. The more we lock our skeletons up in the closet, the more they make friends with the other ones that are there. This is about overcoming our self-deception, overcoming our self-undoing, our poor spiritual, mindful thinking to ourself, and where we self-criticize ourselves into thinking that we're less valuable. This is about overcoming that unconsciousness, because that's ego keeping you down. This is about coming into reincarnation of your inner emotional security by having confidence in yourself, paying off the karmic debt of the self-sacrifice that you made to yourself by believing that you was less and locking those skeletons up in the closet to where they started making friends. This is about putting them and their friends to rest. I love you guys. Bye.